That's really questionable. Okay, there's a bit of a curveball from them, honestly, because it looks relatively rough. We've got 100 Thieves on defense. We've got MIBR on attack. So MIBR decided to start attack. They get Raid Boss over towards Aspas. Regen armor as well.
When you're playing into 100 Thieves on your attack, I think a lot of the thought comes down to that Sage Wall, when it's getting used, how to bait it out, and how to play around those timings.
Yeah, Cryo often not using that too early unless it's a quick dive into mail. So I like Aspas priming that dash, getting ready.
That'll do
the
it.
Contact, play with the wall.
Okay, sure.
Narrowly is going to get Cryo dealt with. Xander and Asuna getting a couple of kills on the backside. Those MIBR flood on into the site, and Xander just hiding, playing ring around the Rosie. On top of this,
this is nice. They kind of had a higher lower. How has Artson done that?
So a 3v2 on the retake. The wall from the friendly Sage of Cryo now almost works against 100 Thieves. They have to go for a jump over top to get back into this one.
Yeah, luckily you got those boxes, so it shouldn't... Oh no, the boxes, yeah, it's a good angle to get on through. No problem for EU, but really waiting for Boostio's flank to pay off.
Yeah, missiles in 5 seconds as well. So reset for the breach is stunned, but Boostio's been spotted out in main.
Good counter stun.
Souls that forces the fight, but Verno's the one to win it. EU drops into the site, but he doesn't.
Very nice. Dude, Artson getting 2 on site there. Higher lower as well, and it's like the highest lower you could probably get in the game.
Right, Cryo thinks he escapes, but that nade missile combo just brutal.
But we're already seeing MIBR having some set game plans of how to deal with Cryo's common positions on the stage.
Fast.
That was a very nice setup from them.
Yeah, I think when you watch Cryo play, his favorite spot to play is just in mail. And if there's a dive play like that, it's always going to be the wall coming down. Early attention into mid is going to be very effective, I think, for MIBR throughout this half to try and bait out that util.
All 5 players here for 100 Thieves. Stacked up towards B. There's an Omen here to receive, but he'll TP away from the trap play and should be able to make it out.
That's a lot of util in this one. Well, they at least get the AWP here. They haven't... Well, they know there's like 3 or 4. They don't know there's 5 here.
MIBR, you can see on the minimap, they're just instantly accelerating away from
Good news is that Shenum has the gun to actually like prod over towards here and take some space. So... nice, easy call for MIBR.
This stage of getting 3 rifles,
Mango Freeze, hello mate, thanks so much for the Prime, dude. Appreciate all you gifted as well. Thanks for the 19 months.
Pretty nice for them to try and win out that bonus as well.
Yeah, even taking the time to pick up the orb there. Both Verno getting that in main, Artson putting the spike down onto the ground. Just getting those 2 power ults
I do before Valorant. Mostly the CS Observer.
They don't have a lot of power ults, right? They're running the Jet instead of the Raze. One of those knives, of course, can be very high impact, but not the instant sight clearing piece.
Cortezio is flying all the way back here. Baits it for Verno, and it's a beautiful cleanup. And this is just the guy you want getting these kills. 3 more ult orbs given over to Verno.
You talk about 100 Thieves comp, I guess. Big game.
Him and Artzine online early, very important. Cryo probably be looking
like,
to dive the spike here, but
in theory this should just be a deadlock, but if Cryo pops and it's like a comfort thing, then it is what it is. I think it's so limited on attack though.
That was Cortezio that didn't even get injured, so really nice second round from MIBR there.
And that's going to be 5 guns going into their bonus round.
I think
they played it for so long, yeah. They played
it
for one.
In their own
Hello, Yampi. Sorry, mate. I didn't see that.
A lot of people think that Omega Group is something very strong right now. Of course,
Gucci sweaters with the Prime. Thank you so much for the 2 months, mate. Thank you for doing that.
Exactly. So 100 Thieves, it's been a bit harder to get the read on them because they've beaten the teams beneath them pretty convincingly, but. How much better are they up against the competition on the other side of things?
Xander stunned, dashed
We've seen a couple of these where it's just insta pop with the dash.
But MIBR, besides their own, a little bit backed
up. Dude, this is nice. They got a free side. Xander's on 6 HP. Still got the luck over towards middle. That hasn't had to do anything.
Yeah, my eyes are on mid right now. Shenum going for this late pinch in. Right now, 100 Thieves covering that, but with the spike planted, Cryo could turn his attention away at the wrong time.
Stun in, Xander for the first spot. What a flick from him.
How's he doing that?
Transfers on
and here comes that mid
lurk. Yeah, now the luck can enable.
That's an easy little backstab. Cryo's got nowhere to go. MIBR convert.
I mean, they make that look easy.
2 rounds where we've seen these contact plays with the fault line.
It's just contact into stun, salvos, dash.
The jet comp
looks horrible to play against.
Unorthodox makes those kind of plays way easier than with the Raze.
Exactly. If you need to get out, of course you can. That spray transfer is just gnarly. Couple of headshots there. And really, I think because when you have the jet, you don't have the same reach as the double satcheling Raze can make happen. So Getting just a little bit further out is always going to be important.
Okay,
Now,
pistol into the bonus. They're also going to have the ult for the next buy round, maybe on the eco, who knows. I was saying that they're going to need 8 on defense. So, it's not looking
I
great.
love the movement from Verno. Keeps it up for a tag.
It's really not
Osboss
looking
gets
great.
in, and now the next wave of utility should
Love
be able to deal
it.
with this
Dude,
one very well.
this looks so
MIBR
strong right
can
now.
Plant down on Artson, and they're going to have Teo and Breach ult for this next round.
That's going to be absolutely brutal.
I mean, we hunt, right?
100 Thieves, I think, because they've been forced onto a few ecos already, it's early on have just been doing a lot of very heavy stacking. And now MIBR have managed to call around it pretty perfectly each time. Here, Boostio's just got a...
Hudson might be in a position to get one of these.
Come around this corner. 1-for-1's all right, but a good counter shot.
Yeah,
Now
look at him go.
Artson, he's on the
Dude,
hunt.
look at him go. He's like,
That's
I
gonna
don't
be
mind
quick
if I
work for
die,
100
yeah.
Thieves.
Yeah, he just wants to get that ult online. Dude, what a rough position for 100 Thieves. Second buy round, they go up against the double ult.
Anything thus far that is of concern for 100 Thieves, or do you think this is more just been a couple nice plays from MIBR? They're snowballing the ult a little bit more, that kind of stuff.
Nice plays and like the
Uzi
opening,
someone to play off of it?
kills
No,
on the
I mean they're
entry.
just
like because really the only real
they're
rounds
just
we had
busting.
around 1 and 3, and both times it was Osboss getting out in front, good utility following off of his contact. You know, Brennan was highlighting in the
making
pre-show how
the
effective
they're
MIBR
making the
been
jet
at both
look
trading
nice
out
with
Osboss if he's going to
these
site
two,
and falling early,
which most
or
teams
just having
aren't.
good
Well,
utility
no
behind
one's
him.
really
So
leaning
far,
into it,
he's been
but
staying
they're
alive,
doing it well.
and the util, and trades have been there.
Talk about the set plays. Saw pings going up towards Cryo's common position.
They at least have Razor.
And this looks like it could be a similar thing.
In reaction, they
Contact up,
could try and
stun
get
ready to
this if
go
they
on
lose
Artson.
Heaven.
Yeah, it looks a lot like
And this
the
could be
round.
Astra
Here
ult.
comes the drone. Slow. I don't mean it's a little more difficult for Osboss to get in, but he dives forward, and this
Dude,
time
what do
Cryo in
these
a
two
position
do?
to escape.
Yeah, this time Osboss trying to make a lot of presence. As MIBR get ready to go, this breach ult in main is ready to rip onto these players. Everyone on site is stunned up except for EU in Heaven.
Nice
2
shots.
kills from him already. Can't quite convert it into a third. But
I like their reaction though. Like their reaction over towards B was pretty nice.
Very nice. Just
Breach
play
ult
that,
came in,
give a
Asuna
little bit
insta
of
pops
space,
his
and
ult and just sends it.
immediately ready to fight back in. I think the raise rocket from Asuna is especially crucial there. Satcheling into main, getting the kill on the player there, and then you have 100 Thieves cut off to, it's no longer a split. It's just straight up fight through Heaven, where they're all trying to flood out of one choke point, where EU and Cryo have a crossfire.
And the breach ult, the only area it wasn't hitting was the Cryo player in Hell and Heaven, right? And that's where the majority of MIBR players were coming in from. Is that crossfire, like you say, tears them up.
Same setup for 100 Thieves. They want to punch this.
First round for 100 Thieves. MIBR, a similar look with the 1-3-1.
Yeah, we saw them do this same high-low setup in the previous round. This is sort of 100 Thieves reacting to MIBR going for the contact play, right? If MIBR aren't going to flash or drone around that first corner, well, Osboss is good enough to get 1 kill there pretty reliably, but he's not going to be able to get the second. That's what 100 Thieves are, you know, telling themselves.
So it's nice from Shannon. He waits for the drone fast. He put the wall up, creates a little bit of pressure.
Let him play it out.
I do like that MIBR slowing down the pace. We've seen 5 pretty quick rounds. Even if they've been slow
everyone's
at the
money's
start
kinda nice.
contacting in, it's been explosive each time.
Sage wall used. That'll fall at 20 seconds, but already falling in Heaven is Boostio. Shenom picks just a perfect timing on that lurk, and he's going for more. Shenom catches another. And 2 fall as MIBR open up A.
Well, there goes your
That
big
lurk
buy
is
round.
just buying time for the rest of the team to come in. 100 Thieves not expecting anyone to be looking for a second kill, though Cryo
Dudes.
can't get it done on backside. Osboss will boost himself up into Heaven
make
to
that
back
look
up his teammate.
insanely
100 Thieves could
easy.
play for the save.
They're already running out of this one. So MIBR,
Omen one away from
multiple
ult as well.
rounds of these fast kind of contact plays into pops with the breach stun and the dash, and now they slow it all the way down. 100 Thieves is full focus towards B in mid, and Shenom single-handedly catches an amazing timing in A Heaven.
Yeah,
I think that's too many rounds personally, but
lurk over on the A side, and also
guess
you,
we'll see.
you can't really feel. I think it's EU there that gets taken down second. Usually, you know what he's thinking is that MIBR are going to be playing like a 1-3-1 maybe. Shenom is maybe going to have players.
What happened
going
last time
through
100
mid,
Thieves played
pivoting
this
into
map?
him.
Did they play it
Remember
after
with
they
that
got
wall in
wrecked?
B Heaven, 100 Thieves lost complete information over mid, so that's what EU is turning around to deal with. So I actually kind of dig the decision of Shenom to keep going forward on that lurk because his team rotates and follows him behind him.
Shenom
They
has
won
been
against
so good
Lounge.
thus far in stage 1. MIBR is a team
So
with
they
3
win
rookie
win
players,
against Sentinels,
Bruno, Shenom,
got 13
and
won.
Cortesia.
And
But
13-8
almost always
against
gets
Louds.
underrated in that mix. You know, Furno, Cortez, those are guys that are
And Loud won double
conversation for
pistols.
Rookies of the
Yeah, I
Year
can
that
see
were
where they might
the
have felt they were
most
good
hyped
at it.
players out of NA and Brazilian challengers.
Dude, Cryo went
respectively.
crazy
But,
that game.
He's been having some really high impact games, and I think he's been consistently providing value in rounds like that as he lurks.
Yeah, excellent fragger for the team. Great finding timing. Super effective on the defensive side, too. Can do a little bit of everything.
So a timeout called for 100 Thieves. They're down 5-1 now on their defense.
This is where Zix is going to have to show up for the team, because now
Yeah,
that
it's a
last
horrible
round makes
start.
things a little bit more complicated. You know, if he'd been coming in with the timeout before that last round, he's probably talking about, hey, we need to maybe play with a little bit more information into mid right off the bat, sort of get in front of things so that we see their fight before they're just unloading their util on us so deep on site. Now it's a bit of a different thing where you have to factor in the options for MIBR to continue looking for the A-lurks too.
Playing
So
defense
red
with
and
the
Photo's
stage comp is a
attack?
little
Nah,
different.
we're safe
100 Thieves
now.
has ran variants of this
We managed
for
to get
a
through
couple of
EMEA.
years now. They were playing the Sage Comp last year as well with the slightly different roster, but not having an Info Sentinel means that there's a lot of opportunities.
Okay, do they
if MIBR
change
wants to
much
slow down,
up?
to work
It's an
players up
important
ramp, work
buy
players
rounds.
late into
You would
B-main.
feel
Put
like
a
if
lot
this
of
one
pressure there.
goes,
It's also
then...
not like 100 Thieves have like the
I mean,
stock.
I already kind of think
Their
it... I'm not
only
saying it's
info
done,
tool
but
is going to be
you
the
have to win like a
payload
pistol
drone.
at the
And
very
then 40
least
seconds when your
on
wall is down,
attack
you don't
now.
really have to worry about that space on the map. But it means that 100 Thieves are more forced to proactively take space, and that's why I like their setup this round. Breach done, ready and main, off contact, and 2 players swinging from ramp.
MIBR's going into it quickly. Osbot's ahead of the play.
Yeah, they
but
were
also
ready
a
for this,
stun.
though.
He gets the
Dude,
job
we
done, and
pre-satchel.
MIBR tuck tail.
And now looking to mid. Cryo sees 2 players. Wall will come out, but it's a bad wall. Artson's in front of this. And
This
pins
gets a little
Cryo
weird
back
because you
into
can
the
breach
corner.
damage him out.
Now the blast
That was
comes
nice done
through,
from
but
Cryo.
Cryo sees the opportunity to duck away.
The round slows down a little bit. A lot happens in the first 20 seconds, but now MIBR works space into vents. We'll put a little pressure.
The satchel? No, dude, 100 Thieves in that timeout
Drone might be the cue for Artson.
predicted exactly what was going to go on from MIBR, by the way.
He's walking up towards A main, and he's for Boostio on the other side. As Asana, over towards vents, picks off Artson.
Yeah, his teammates had gone for the spam, so he thought he could maybe find a timing. 100 Thieves have beautiful information over the A side, now creeping up right on the corner of the orb.
This position for EU is great. He got 2 kills in heaven here just a few rounds ago, but Shenab is working through this. Wanted to fight towards Fun. Now he heads out towards Rafters, but the spray's missing.
Yeah, it's
Cryo
about
has
damage.
the protection in Cortesia. This should just be too many odds. That's 1 kill found though. And all
Oh my
1v1
god.
against
Oh my
Cryo.
god. There's no way.
That's
Okay, he has his
Cortesia
ult
found
as well.
that.
And now
Picks
the
up
ultimate to
spike.
pick up the spike in heaven with only 20 seconds
2
left.
bullets. 1 smoke.
Back on to B.
God,
1v1.
imagine this one.
Against the IGL. Cortesia holds the angle. Another tap. Boostio on the jump.
10 seconds left.
Cortesia waits. Plant coming in. Boostio drop towards hell. Cortesia on the swing.
Big smoke, bro. Big smoke.
It's damage. Down to 11 HP. But time now working in his favor.
Oh
in the
my
smoke.
goodness.
Boostio just barely.
Picked up an extra gun to
out
shoot the
with
body.
the right-click
I mean,
classic.
I said it was
Doing a bit
about
of
damage. Bro
dancing
nearly
there
won
around the
this. That would have
smoke. I
been
love
mental. That
that
would have been the
look.
map fully done.
Cortesia almost had that one. 4 kills out of
Boostio
seemingly
kind of
nowhere.
messed up in my opinion.
round
Like
where
shooting the
Boston Economy
shooting the
dealt with
omen there gives away your
MIBR
position.
just about
I'm not sure you should be doing that, but
until this moment.
Seconds left.
His 3rd kill would have been unfortunate for Cryo, but that 4th one is just insane.
Nice, Kyle. Let's go. That's the champs winner.
Champs winning right-click? Not even close.
It's a round winner, that's for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
100 Thieves are going to need all of those.
I mean,
they
all
can
of them
muster.
can't buy
There's gonna be
next,
another
really.
fight in A main.
Like
Same
3,200 is the
100
most they're gonna
Thieves.
have.
Same idea for MIBR. Thrown up.
Definitely want to
Stun
see some of
ready
these
to go.
ults come out.
Cortez just passed
Ooh,
it,
I
and
like the
it's 1 for
change
1
up.
on the trade, but a great stun onto EU, and Cortesia converts 6 kills in the last few minutes here.
Keep your eyes on Boostio.
Wait, do 100 Thieves
That's
keep
my
the
champs
same setup
winner
off the
inside the smoke.
timeouts?
They're jumping into his smoke. It's a 1-for-1.
Down
Sight
A.
belonging to MIBR.
But Cryo has a Sage res, and he wants to
I mean, they
fight
got a
back
res.
down ramp.
They have an ult for the res, though.
They're protecting this body. 3 players ready to challenge Cryo. Swinging into him. MIBR trying and trade out, but it's down to a one-on-one, and Cryo
That's
nearly got the kill.
insanely
But it's
close.
Bruno coming up
I mean,
big
nicely done from
instead.
MIBR. At least they're all
Double close
together.
rounds
I
here,
still think they could
back-to-back.
maybe like take site and just use the tail for it, but maybe they weren't happy with the timing. I mean, this works. Maybe it's just like first call. Dude, they got no money. This is way too many rounds.
Instead of just taking back into sight. Really nice. I like, too, the slight variations of MIBR, right? Instead of going for like a dash play onto Rams with the jet, it's an Omen teleport, capitalizing off his teammate's stun. Enough for 2 kills there, and he's having a game.
Oh, he's
100
looking
Thieves are down
nice.
on their luck again.
For people wondering
rounds
why
here.
I think it's like too many rounds,
And this
like if you look at
happens
100
well
Thieves
and truly
comps,
snowballed
you
for
normally
MIBR.
have to have some kind of like passive pressure, like the Viper wall over towards A to kind of block vision and create pressure here. We don't have that on the 100 Thieves comp, so it means they have to invest some kind of Astra smoke, which means that like taking over towards middle becomes weaker. Normally means they have to like default over towards A, and they just have to purposely take A with way more effort and numbers than most comps need to.
The fact that MIBR
Otherwise,
wasn't
you just have
sending
one
these
person
execs
locking
up
down
there,
A,
always doing it
and
off
you can just
contact.
2-2.
Okay. That's how
So-
Shenome actually gets punished on the lurk. And
Asuna farming the orbs, too. That's going to be impactful in the next round.
Sage slows into heaven. MIBR want to split towards B here.
Big Joel at heaven.
Certainly taking their time for now.
Oh.
Again, just going for the contact plays.
That
So
stun
Dink
looks
connected,
nice.
But Aspas gets 1 kill. Cryo spotted out on the site, and MIBR, as long as they check on Xander, which they will, it should all be okay. Into a 4-on-2. Lucio in mid gets a kill with
A
the
bit too
Sheriff.
confident from
Now
Verno.
it's only a
For my
one-player
liking, but
deficit. 2 guns, a rolling thunder. This becomes winnable. But Aspas holding the line. Both players.
Oh, he
One
wants
shot
to
his
ult it.
Outlaw. Rolling thunder used. And the Outlaw connects. MIBR, they steal away
I mean,
the
yeah,
ultimate,
they need some kind
and
of
they take
miracle
the round
round, so.
regardless.
Yeah, a bit of a gamble there from Boostio. Feeling like 100 Thieves had a chance in it, but the positioning of MIBR was just never going to get punished by an ability like that.
Arch, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the tier 1. Thank you for the
Outlaw
28
coming in
months.
Very nicely. And again,
Ref, do
MIBR just
something.
sort of playing this
Yeah.
game where they're
The,
taking very confident gunfights. They're not always using utility to
Maps-
set up
the
the
map
fight, but there's
slipped.
always utility to follow
Slipping
it, right?
or slipped away.
100 Thieves have been struggling. That round, understandable on the low guns, but now, with an attack up in Osboss's hands, good luck, 100 Thieves.
And this is going to completely change the way they play their attack side. That's why it's been these contact plays into pops with the breach stun, the tail missiles coming in. Here, they're going to take their
Look at this
time with
money.
that operator. And then
Imagine
late
a loss
round,
behind this
trade it
as
over
well.
and Go for an exit.
I mean, the best proof of this is look at Spawn. There's a spike back
we
there.
don't need that.
They're okay
gonna
for a
take
little
their
bit.
sweet time. I like the op too, because the last few rounds, 100 Thieves have adapted to the slow play of MIBR by simply going for some more forward angles, whether it's, you know, that A space we saw Austin get the first blood last round, or the high-low we've seen them run a couple of times over on the B side. So he's just waiting for that overstep and looking for that pick.
Shenom's getting to work towards A, putting a little pressure here with his util going up.
Yeah, wall was placed in mid by the
The
way. Should be
contact
down.
op, dude, they're changing up their
30
playstyle all the time.
Now MIBR start to inch out of B main.
MIBR right now, we're waiting for that Viper lurk to pay off into the site. You can see kind of getting in front of the orb.
Oswald pops blades. He wants to send this one into B. The blade storm up and over the top. He's denied by Xander. 100 Thieves hold B. And Asuna arrives with his rocket, trying to find a target in the smoke. He's gone too far and now spamming back through. MIBR
It's
reply.
spike
Yeah,
down.
that
I
kill's
mean,
coming
it
over
should
on
be
the east side of the map.
impossible.
There's just not really time.
Okay, definitely
Yeah,
impossible now.
Just simply over.
10 seconds left.
And that's the downside of playing with the operator. You don't find anything with it, and you end up with these.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like Ospas thought he had a timing that he ended up not really having, and they rushed into the exec to give him the chance.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got the knives, so there's always a chance there. But I can't help but feel like on a round like that where you are heavy slow playing with the
But
op,
why is
that
that
you want
Metro in
your
tier
lurker
2,
to do
Bacon?
something a little bit more. But I think what the issue was for Shenum is he doesn't want to do anything super
Then they
aggro
just
on the
get
other side
wrecked.
because his team was playing so quietly, right? They weren't giving a lot of information over to 100 Thieves. So it's very hard to find good lurk timings when, you know, the rest of your team isn't pulling any attention away from you. Especially with that mid wall down the entire time, just about.
Boostio picks up the human. Sorry, the hero op.
Boostio has the glass
But the
off,
hero
yeah.
op, we got
Yeah,
no
See,
armor.
I was looking at Osbach, you know,
breach.
maybe Cryo. You gotta glance down a little further to see Boostio with that one.
Yeah, you'd hate to have cryo opping on your team.
No, especially with how he's been playing this split.
Boostio always loves going into the op though, and see how he calls it too? Like, he's playing solo over towards the A side just to take one shot and uses stun to stall. So his team can fight into mid, finding a beautiful kill as the smoke falls. Spotting the spike too.
And there's the op for
yeah,
Boostio, bringing out onto
I mean,
Shenum.
again, one of the reasons that he fragged so heavy on EG is because he did primarily like Killjoy up a good amount of the rounds. He's always been good for
Keeps
it.
the pressure high in mid. And MIBR losing 2 players this late into the round. Still don't really have anything to work with here.
Yeah, have to break the wall just to keep some amount of threat alive, but 100 Thieves have not given up this space really at all. Only now falling back a little deeper into heaven. Because it's late on the clock, 100 Thieves can set up that crossfire. Falling off of Cryo's contact here.
30 seconds
Cryo
left.
wide on the angle. And good with the shots. Osbot's dead. The next player steps up to the plate, and they're out too. Just Verno in a 1v5 that he already knows he's not winning.
All right, so in these last 2
Yeah, I
rounds,
mean,
the 100 Thieves have just kind of
5,
stuffed MIBR.
You have to
completely.
5 a pistol.
Really,
10
the
seconds left.
2 rounds ago, that was MIBR.
5 and a
just making
pistol is
things too slow
doable,
on their
but
own.
still,
I feel like
I think you might have to win the bonus, or at least
out of the game in a way.
the
This
next
last
round
I
after
like
that.
100 Thieves' decision to go for a mid fight. That's something we had not seen from them at all. So you were sort of expecting the read from MIBR after the slow round to be punish mid, which worked so well.
Helmy with the tier 1.
into
Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate the 2 years.
That decision to
Hello, mate.
put
Thank you for
Boostio
that.
the up over here pays off for him.
Dude, Shannon went for that.
Enemy remaining.
I mean, haven't they? Maybe they haven't been playing
Just
over
good
towards site
coordination
much.
from the B anchors. Set up some good crossfires, and now put us to the 12th round of the half. MIBR.
Okay, we got a
have
backup
a
up here
rolling
though,
thunder,
right?
Have a pit
No,
for the
okay.
post plant, and I
EU
think they
gets
want to
it.
pick up the
Hey,
pace.
who's using
What
this
if
op?
they actually exec into the site? So far, we've only really seen mid, B,
Okay,
and ramp
backup
slopes from
op
them.
is over
Hands,
towards
not just
heaven in
the
this
operator.
box.
EU's got it this
Wait,
round.
they have double, right?
Oh, no,
I
he
think there's
trades
one
it
in
the
this
last
box as
second over
well.
to
I think
Boostio.
that EU has an extra one
Still one of these anchors
over
on A.
towards heaven. I think
Boostio's
they have
gonna let them know their
2
initiator
backup
take the
ops.
Rolling Thunder used. Counter stun from Boosty. But out onto the site is Ospas, getting away from the utility as the ult in gets some help. Spike still yet to ford the river, and Ospas has to hold, keep 100 Thieves out of this site, but they're just at the gates. Ready to
Astra
start
ult,
this
fast
flood.
floods.
In goes the
Dude, this gives them a
utility,
lot
and
of
out comes
space
100
here.
Thieves
Dude, they're
already
so
on this site.
wrecked.
MIBR have 4
They just get
players,
spammed.
all trying to find safety in the pit, but Cryo won't let them stand. Cryo for 3, Verno runs in, and it's a desperate game at this point. Asanari holding on the spike, and 100 Thieves.
I mean, it was a nice fast flood from them. If anything, the Viper really helped them because they just locked all 4 in there.
But they rally back and
5.
make it competitive with a beautiful
I mean, I
retake.
don't
Oh yeah,
think it's
3 in a
enough
row. The
rounds,
retake usually was
but
great there.
I'm
Boostio
down
has
to
the
be wrong.
blast
Maybe
going
like
over
a
its elbow,
again like a
and then
snowball.
Cryo lands a slow orb on
think they gotta
everyone
win
else in
3 out of
backside,
the
so none of
first
those
4
MIBR
rounds,
players can
basically.
move. They're just trying to hold hands together, try to trade, and it's Cryo spamming them through the smoke. No problem.
MIBR still up by 2.
The Sage Rezier had it for the whole half. It's hard on some of these maps. Like sometimes you can play around it and be in position to use it, but if you don't fully focus on it, you normally don't get a opportunity.
Count me in.
Yeah, I mean he was solo holding middle all the time. Res with Teo, that's also true. So I think you're not going to have many opportunities. We had like 1 opportunity and they went 3-person heavy to go fight the bodies. Well, at least we can see on attack how they're going to deal with A pressure. Last time we saw them, or at least for the Sentinels game, they tried to focus so heavy on putting A pressure. Or maybe they could just do like fake smokes to create a cross. The problem is the timing wise you have to use 2 of them. I think Sage needs a buff. I think Sage is really strong in ranked. I don't think you can do too much to Sage. Knight VBN, thank you so much for the Prime, bro. I appreciate you doing that.
In this first
Thank you for the 6
half of
months.
the playoffs, over 100 Thieves. Osbus, despite coming out the better
In
of
ranks,
that
yeah,
half,
dude, Sage
fell a
wall
little
in
worse
low
for
level
wear in
ranks is
individual performance,
insane.
5 and 8 to end,
Just
but
walling off
this
one
is
area.
one of those maps on defense
I say
where
low
he
level, honestly, it's
takes
insane, like all
over.
the way
Once he
until
gets that op in his hands, he is
Immortal,
going
really.
to be a massive
Maybe even
problem
higher.
for 100 Thieves.
Exactly.
No one has
You're
the
really going to be picking the jet
no one
here
has the
to
team
get
play to go
value.
default and break a
Able to
wall.
take some pretty forward fights on the defensive side. You know, Desk was talking a lot about the duelist head-to-head. Of course, this is a map where Cryo's going to
Kyle
be
CF,
rocking
thank you
the
so
stage,
much.
but
Appreciate the
my eyes don't deceive
11
me. I
months.
believe
Thank you for the
100
Prime.
Thieves are gonna be headed
Even
Osmos's
Immortal, it's
way.
good, yeah.
He's
So
got
no
a
one
sheriff here on the pistol.
can actually default. Let's talk about the pistols. We've got 1-0. And as we can see from MIBR at the moment, they're just going to be holding this line, and that means they can keep the stack of 2-2. Might be attack pause.
Zoom here on that
It was very cinematic.
Used to
I
this
was feeling the
Yeah.
moment,
after watching the
tension,
EMEA.
and now maybe we're doing a VCT EMEA impression here.
Yeah.
It's an audio
I'll
issue.
escape it.
You see the
That's why he's taking off his headset.
the
If
referee
anyone's
out there to help.
curious, yep. I'm on top of those things. Don't worry.
Yeah, looks like new in
Problem is every ranked Sage player is doing TikTok wars.
Boostio's also playing
Yeah, I mean
with his
that's
ears.
them issue though more than anything else.
Just making sure those in-ears are all the way in. You know.
It's wild that Boostio, every year he's like been a pro player in VCT Americas, has had a haircut so
Derp_Val,
different that he
thank
looks
you so
like
much
a
for the
different
2
person.
months. Appreciate the Prime.
Because he was Gecko last
Yeah,
year, right?
he was doing his Gecko impression,
That's crazy.
and now he's got like the whole perm thing going on.
He's a shapeshifter, honestly.
Yeah, it's wild. Same man though.
I respect it.
Black Belt 219 as well with the Prime. Thank you for the 3 months.
The stash is going back.
But I think of Vitality today, dude, they're really struggling.
He's working on
It
building
looks pretty
back.
rough out
Yeah.
there.
Gotta get the headset figured out first, though.
Might have to get Ardis in. Might be time.
New in-ears.
Well, the real struggle is when you get it all tangled up.
Yeah.
Because that adds a whole other level. Like, that's not even a tech issue at that point. That's just that's user error.
Insightful commentary.
Yeah.
He's working
What
on
percentage
himself.
do you give Vitality to go to Toronto?
Trying to get plugged back in here.
Kind of low.
It's rough, though, coming
Like a
out of
10
the,
maybe?
coming out of the halftime.
Wait,
news.
how many games do you have to win? 3 in a row?
7 seconds left on the clock. Then, no.
No,
Pause
no,
it
no.
just a second. We're gonna lock back in.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Get
we
the
got the
tips on the in-ears.
Look at that technique. That's good stuff.
Can you wear a watch while you play? I find it very
personally, I can't.
disruptive. I always have
No.
to take my watch off when I play.
Yeah. Then again, maybe you need to get up there and flex on people.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cortesia is definitely flexing. I don't know enough about watches, but that looks.
It looks like
nice
he can tell
watch.
time, though.
It does look like
Yeah.
that.
Liquid? I mean, they'll go into it like every
Let
other
those
game.
hands move, you know?
Yeah, hopefully at a consistent rate and a correct one. Boosty standing up.
Gotta get that blood flowing, the circulation rolling.
C9. I went for
You know, we got a
C9.
little bit of time here.
It's a
This series
close
is a little
one.
interesting because we get this starting map, which is
I wouldn't be
I
surprised
think a
if
pretty
Sen
clear
win.
example of the difference between these two teams. 100 Thieves, they only play Jet on one map, Icebox, and even there, a lot of teams don't even play that agent. MIBR, they play the most Jet out of any America's team. They have 5 maps where they lock that agent in, and they put a huge priority in putting
we back.
Icebox in positions where he gets to play
So,
his
like we
best
said,
agent. As we'll
line
see
of
in
sight
this pistol rounds
keeps
here,
the
set up
2.
over towards
My
B
goodness.
as we're out of the
Keeps
tech
the
pause.
2 and 2.
Cortez
And
doing
they're
some
not going to try to
serious
break that
baiting
line
as
of
well,
sight.
jiggling
So
that corner.
MIBR looking
Osmos
like
is
they have a bit
hiding
of
now.
an advantage
Cortez
in
actually
terms of
gets stuck.
Yeah.
Crossfire's
And now
numbers.
Osbos has to go good.
Till
Make
that
up
happened.
for his fallen comrade, and that is excellent out of Osbos.
Still
A
alive
dash
as
away
well.
to safety
Oh
and
boy,
Artsy.
we're out here
Shannon,
looking
they
at the
arrive
spike.
to aid the hero in his cause. MIBR.
And I think if
Shut
you
the
aren't going to
door
pressure
on
here,
B.
you're going to get punished by
Oz
the
ends
numbers.
and Osmos just
Double
kills
pistol, I think
you
they're
all.
done.
Cortezia doing exactly what his
No
job required
plant,
him
can't
there.
really go
Just
for the
look
force
juicy
buy.
And like no one else is behind you. That's it. Just the
Great
bait on the
shots,
end of
though.
a fishing hook.
Second shot's lovely.
Little smile cropping up for Osbos. As they win their second pistol round of the game here.
Oh, wow, maybe some.
This is a very low
prep
buy
against
on
100
defense.
Thieves
there
here.
is a
Osmos going for
small
just the Marshall. See,
world that 100 Thieves
no
can
armor
win
of
this
any
one
kind from 100 Thieves,
because
no buy at all
this
on
is
this
weak.
pistol.
This is kind of what we've been flaming Na'Vi for a little bit.
stun into mid.
Obviously, if you keep it clean, you win the round. You keep the
Safety
two
is
guns, and it's very, very nice. But I mean, I say two guns. They got a Stinger as one of the guns as well.
It's not long for this world.
Yeah, a bit of a 2025 Valorant moment down in the vents. Everyone's stunned up, but Varno gets the opener.
He's jump peeking with the drone.
I love
That's
how
sick.
creative the players have gotten with the movement on the Teo drone to avoid getting shot.
It's like jump peeking with the drone.
It's its own minigame. Art scene steps into main, gets
Very,
an easy
very
kill
nice.
onto Xander.
Oh, don't take your stun out there.
That's fine.
I don't
Oh,
know.
the spray gets a little messy.
How's Cryo over there on site? What's going on?
Remaining. Spike down A. 30 seconds left.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the spike. One of the key parts of getting that plant money.
There's some low players though. I can see. Okay, not if it's Garcia that's taking
On
the first
that
contact.
angle
Okay.
too. I don't take
No.
the
Big
ghost
buy
any day of the
rounds.
week.
No, don't like that.
And I guess
9 to 5 up
Aspas
for MIBR now.
keeps.
And that was a pretty light
Sells
buy
the gun,
coming in
keeps
from
the gun.
MIBR.
I'm not entirely sure what they're going to go
Stinger,
for.
a Marshall on the other side.
I'd be tempted to set him off
Wondering
over
if
towards A
Gavin
and
by
just
a
watch
few
that angle,
rifles
to be
going
honest,
in,
if he's
but
going to keep the
just sets
Marshall.
them up
But
even on a round lost, have money for the next, and possibly even be good enough for a half by the round after if they lose a couple in a row.
okay, here we go. 100 Thieves first big buy round. They
Aspas
realize that they
not
got to
having to
create
invest in
pressure
that
over towards A
alcohol
because
and
of
just
their
giving the
comp,
Marshal
obviously.
instead
So
means that he's going to have money for
let's
an
see how they're going to do
round
that.
four, or
Star,
fourth
star,
round and a half, I
This will
should say,
probably
no
be
matter
real
what
smoke.
happens here.
That's kind of the win condition on the defensive side.
Yeah, and this is nice
You're
though.
locking
Real
in the
smoke
jet
goes
here.
up, drone
Win
here.
pistol, get yourself that off online early. If you lose those early rounds, it can be really tough to actually build up Econ to make that happen.
Teo drones traded towards A ramp.
Looks like 100 Thieves are taking a page out of the MIBR book, right? Just
At one
full
point,
contact up here until we actually get to
Shenum
ramp. Then
has
flash
to
in,
kind of
fault
do
line to dig a little bit
this.
deeper.
This feels like
Unless
a
he backs
classic
himself
100
heavy and he
Thieves
just
Sage comp on attack.
wants to hold
Maybe
vents.
wall off over towards vents, split into the A site, or at least put the
Really
pressure
smoke
that you might
off
be doing that.
fence. They can have it.
I wonder if they're considering cutting back into mid here. 100 Thieves really don't have a lot of information.
They're committed. Up goes the wall. In goes the util to take heavy
That is a
control,
free sight.
but
That is
immediately
a
MIBR fighting back in.
really bold
It's not
play.
successful though. Austin is the one to open this round.
Yeah, this wall is super frustrating, right? MIBR, how do you retake heaven when you actually can't pinch in from vents? Gotta have a player ramp or something. Now there's that lurk going down against you as well, so Shenum's just out of the round.
MIBR down to a 3v5. 100 Thieves in a
30
great
seconds
position here. The wall means Cryo has
Pharos, thank
safe
you so much.
hands
Thank you, thank
controlling
you.
heaven.
Yeah, how easy is it
What
to
do you think
hold heaven?
Cryo's
Just
agent
one or
pulling
two
back
players,
100
right? Got
views?
the wall there. There's no
A little
possible
bit, but
flank
not
coming
that
in 'cause
much.
Your Astra's hanging out in mid. So 100 Thieves can afford to play these very forward positions up in heaven and really get easy trades almost every time.
Cryo taken down. And MIBR. They have no chance to win this round. I'm going to try and get a little bit of extra damage on their way out the door. Aspas will get one and try and find a timing onto Lucio, but the shots aren't connected.
Okay,
And so that's 100 Thieves.
two kills and an
Up to
armor.
6 here.
Yeah, so simple
Not
adjustments
too bad for the
moving
bonus.
out after a
Aspas
round
has
like this
enough
is,
money for the
A, you
op
can
if he
just
wants
fight
to get
more
it out. I
aggressively
imagine he
for
will.
ramps control, because again, retaking heaven with that wall is exceptionally
And
difficult.
with what's going on,
That's why they're fighting
I
in
imagine the
front of
op
that
goes
position
over
to make
towards
that
A
impossible.
and
Or
probably
maybe,
heaven,
get a
from
player
what
to
I'm
play out
seeing.
rafters, so you have
Like
some
I imagine
other
a double
option for
heaven, one
crossfire.
person to shoot the drone.
You can actually hold on to this position a little bit better.
Enemy remaining.
Very casual stand-up for Busio. Starting the series with 2 maps that are basically running back 2024 comps, 400 Thieves.
Yeah.
Just the Teo a little different on this one.
Aspas will have that op here, and he is going to be fighting over ramps, it looks like.
Okay, so
Stun
they
onto
wait for a
Protection.
drone, they wait for a
He's up
stun, no drone,
open
no
on
stun.
D-Cam. This
Aspas is
time
going
not
to get
big
set up
for
towards the
Aspas.
line. They can hold one person
Holding
over
the side
towards
alone
A.
for now.
And that means the Teo, with
Big round
this,
coming in.
can now
Not a lot of
rotate.
ults in play, but see how Aspas
Yeah, they go
is
for the
creeping
one-
forward into the A
1-3-1.
space. Like, there's a lot of information over to MIBR. So Verno's going to rotate over into vents and have the option to potentially refight mid after using this utility to force 100 Thieves out of that mid smoke.
Okay,
100
so
Thieves look like they
drone
wanna
went
get
over
back
towards A.
But that's exactly
they spotted it,
where
so they know the
Aspas is
one is set
holding.
up.
And EU doesn't have
Whether
the drone
it's,
up. That is
well,
a
whether
big
it's here,
miss to not have here.
or here.
The final boss holding down the line.
Problem is they use the drone for middle. So now what?
Ready on the swing.
Satchel across, insta stun. Yeah,
Steps
insta
off.
stun.
Nice.
Stunned up.
Really
But
good
with the
util.
pullback star, he could find another
Oh.
shot.
Whoa.
Another angle. Over the top is Asuna.
Oh,
and the
damn.
operator not
Hey, they
the
handled
weapon
not
for
too
that
badly. Just
job.
let him
Shenna
get set up with the
wanted to fight
one
back in towards ramp as his team
pre-util.
floods out onto site.
Burno still backside right now, has an opportunity to shut this down, and he does with 2
Really, bro?
kills.
He's like
now
50
the rest of his team
HP.
popping out of heaven.
Dude, he has to do more?
Equalize.
That's shameless.
2 now. And yet with only 20 seconds,
Oh
they have to
my
fight. Inferno
God,
isn't going to
dude.
let it happen. And
How did
MIBR up to
NRG
10.
kick this guy?
What a hold
He's
from
so
Bruno.
good.
Just a little bit of stall provided by Osboss on the site. And MIBR taking no time to
He's
flood
actually
in.
so good,
He
dude.
looks so precise, picking off those 3 kills.
Yeah.
14-4 this map for the youngster.
You know, I've got to respect 100 Thieves' utility going in there between the Astro
Dude, he's
Stars
60
and Lucio having
HP.
the flash ready to go with. They dealt with Osboss. It was the backline that ruined them.
And the implications of that round are harsh. 100 Thieves
He's not playing
does
like
not
this.
have money.
He
They've
was in
not
tier 2
earned
for 2 years prior
any
to that,
real
though.
round-winning
We're
ultimates,
going to
and
judge
they're
him from
trying
the
to
3
dive
months, or
into
we're going to judge him
Asuna.
from the 2 years?
You know he's going to get at least 1 there.
Hold on now. 4 on 3 for 100 Thieves. Cryo's 1 off the orb to have the ulti online.
Cortesha is stuck here. Wall up towards heaven, 4 players pinching onto him.
Good dodge.
Worried about
Ooh.
doing it. Knife is out!
Dude, insta
Oh,
looked at his
Cortesha.
keyboard.
He's fumbled that one a little bit.
It's Boostio's jumping right-click classic again that takes him down.
Osboss picks up a stinger now. I didn't see what gun he had to start the round.
He
I think
had
the
the
op
op.
and then
Yeah, I mean,
left
he's
it
gonna go
back
get
in
the op.
a safer position.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure they didn't hear him switching over to the gun, so he dropped that a little bit deeper, but the save call on an anti-eco is brutal. And it comes down to that mail dive. 100 Thieves increasing the tempo immediately at the start of the round.
How
Nice little
bad is
combo
it?
piece from Bustio and Asuna
Pretty
there to
bad.
start things off the right way.
1-9 loss
Yeah, I think
bonus.
Bustio's util
This is
has
going to be
looked really nice
3.
thus far.
Oops.
For these little
Wow,
set
dude,
plays,
how'd it
we
get
saw
bigger?
how much success MIBR was
This will be
having
3. This will be
with
2.
similar ideas on their attack half.
Can be a drop.
That's going to pull
This
the
can
gap
be a
down to
gun.
3.
So
Really
then
big
opts
rounds, but
in,
if
buys
they
the
had
judge.
lost this,
Maybe?
They would be looking at 1 more rifle round, basically, between them and losing their map pick.
Sorry, Buchan.
Could have been brutal. I mean, let's watch
Sorry,
this
mate.
dive again. Getting in front of the orb, so not even
nice round.
decayed is Asuna. Oh,
Is that a scroll wheel weapon change, I feel like?
it wasn't pretty. That's what I
No.
feel like. Either way, you're not
Did
gonna
we
be
get it
happy
from
with
his
that one.
POV?
Just POV?
Oh no, yeah, it's mouse will change.
Brutal.
Dude, mouse
That's
will
tough.
change weapon. Is that not?
100 Thieves will take it, though.
But again, it's pistol round, except this time
He's
instead
looking
of
at his
Sheriff,
mouse
Osboss
afterwards.
has the op, and he got 2 with the Sheriff last time. In that exact position. So just 100 Thieves baiting it out with the util, now moving back towards A.
Yeah, they've conditioned that setup 2 rounds now to allow themselves to have a later pop on.
Dude,
Now
there's,
drone just
there's a
went
weird
into
little
him, we
drone
didn't see
jewel
anything.
off. He's like dancing with the
Steps
drone
forward.
in front of Xander.
Take this
Classic.
fight.
My
And
goodness.
he still goes 1 for 1 with it.
Artsin.
But that's the ultimate.
I'm
Now
so
MIBR won't be
confused.
able to tag
Buys the
into.
judge, goes close, swings with it. He gets the
Done for
fast
Bruno.
kill with a
Asuna,
classic.
Good with the movement. He's always stellar. Diving in like he does there.
100 Thieves don't have control of heaven though.
Yeah,
Cortez
lovely
has already moved
res.
Back into sight. Shenham's been
We
called
dealt with
on in.
The res.
the player that stops
That'll
this.
bring Xander back into a 5-on-3 for 100 Thieves.
3-person here though.
But they're re-hitting into this one. Shenom's still here.
Osboss
Holding the
is
line
here.
on ramp. The op in
Oh
Cortesha.
my god, he's
the man to
tapping.
do it.
Dude, he's
Locks down
tapping
3
heads through the
kills in
smoke.
main. And now 100 Thieves are sent scrambling.
30 seconds
He
left.
didn't
though,
even
100
spray, he
Thieves
just calm
may have
tapped.
heard the rotate from Shenham over towards the B side, so instead looking to pinch back into the A site. Osboss
Of course he
turned
gets
around,
double headshot.
but now that spike is headed over to B, and that would be brutal.
Oh, you guys have
if
got
he
no
ran back in
time for
Shenham.
this.
Osboss repositions just at the right time. Asuna in the air.
Dude,
He's
show
gone
me
too.
it.
The rookie.
Show me it.
So good
My
on the
guy's
anchor.
just
Pulled out
tapping
his
through the
knife
Viper wall.
last round. This time, he's got the gun up for 4.
Cortez has been on fire today. That is just money. I mean, just mows him down through the smoke.
He's just tapping at the head level, gets 2 kills. And this is exactly what the desk talked about. Osboss right now, 9 to 10. MIBR still far out in the lead of this game. These
Yeah,
new
welcome to
players
Valorant.
have taken so much
Smokes.
pressure off that star.
Small choke
Speak
points.
about the star. Osboss with the up in mid to walk
I
out
mean,
here and
that's
get
the
front
best. That's probably
this
the
next
best
play.
version of that I've ever
Underseas
seen, to be
use the
fair.
drone. Osboss tucks and
Like,
it's
normally
broken.
people spam.
Surely
He's
that sells
sticking
the play. Yeah,
headshot,
already spam shots coming
headshot
in.
level the
Defense
whole
retreating
time with the
Osboss.
pre-aim,
On
just
the
going
top of the
across.
orb, he'll get out.
Left, middle, right.
Good work on the
Goodness.
start of the round there from 100 Thieves to find the off.
And in return, they'll get space all the way up mid. Put some missiles towards vents. And they're just sending this one down into vents. Goes Asuna. The
incredible stun.
It's so good to
God,
block
it's an
him off
incredible
and
stun.
deny this
Did
all
great.
really any value in the
All
round.
gets invested over towards it, and they stuck it. Dude, are 100 Thieves gonna think that he even stuck it? I'm not sure.
Or are they?
Aspas is in a weird spot.
Spike is heading towards A. They want to fake pressure into B and then
He's
pull
in a
back.
really weird spot.
Rolling
Okay, this is
Thunder,
nice.
that's
So this
pulled
gives them a
out
lot
from
more map
MIBR.
control.
The fake.
Forces them back
Very
over towards
successful.
A. Comes down to
But
Cortesia
still,
again.
Cortesia on this site anchoring. Still, Verno in heaven, but he's spotted on the jump peak. Stun
Got
eluded
Salvas
by
to help his
Verno.
teammate out.
And now players arriving as Cortesia. Could he do it 2 rounds in a row? Paranoia up.
Dude,
holding
Verno
down
killed
this
the person
site
over
as in
towards
heaven,
site as
one
well.
by one.
Dude, they had
100
no
Thieves
smoke
all
spawn.
start to fall. It's a 5-on-2. 20 seconds. It's desperation into the site, but EU still
Sure.
finding success. Oh my God. It's a nasty one tap from Verno, and that's gonna lock this round up. The shorty in hand. Asuna, no
4
choice
bullets,
but to
fully.
save.
Damn, dudes.
Just another
Yeah,
round here.
I think they used their smokes on
MIBR
the
have gotten the
fake.
better of
I
these
think, or
mid-rounds.
the
100 Thieves
original push from
continue
A.
to try and go for
Either
these
way, no
pivots into
smoke
mid,
on
these
spawn.
fake
It's
out
an easy
looks.
one for Verno.
But MIBR
They
haven't
played
really
well though,
flinched.
Cortesia
Their
and
anchors have been good for
Cortesia
every
even,
single time.
and Verno together.
Cortesia that round TP's into A really early. It almost looks
Oh no,
like
there was a
mistake,
smoke. It
but
just
he
ran
holds his
out, like
position
literally
and
just then after he
it's rewarded.
pushed.
So deep
Can't
in the
even be
late
angry
rounds
at
here.
that.
Yeah, and again,
Just
as
sent
we
it.
get those fights,
guys. Let's
you've
go.
got Verno coming out of elbow, shutting it down, so it'll be Zix calling a timeout on map point.
100 Thieves, it feels like they've had a lot of success getting these first kills for Asuna, diving into mid, catching someone off guard, but like you mentioned, where they're really struggling is hitting in the late rounds and just getting mowed down by players on the anchor. The amount of 2, 3, even 4Ks that MIBR's anchor players are getting has been killing 100 Thieves these last few rounds.
Feels like with the amount of like map control they're playing with, the round shouldn't be so hard for them to maneuver. You'd imagine, right? So I wonder if for 100 Thieves, they might be better served instead of going for like the very loud fake plays, if they leave a potential lurker in B.
Why timeout now? I mean, it's better than not timing out.
We saw Chenum find a lot out of that in the
Because
first half.
right now they're not pivoting back.
Might have a
into
good
those
way of
space,
dealing with
they're
the
pivoting into
optics out
space
here.
they think is empty,
Maybe
think
they
is
got something with
light. It's a
ults.
guessing
Maybe
game
they can
for
talk about
100
the fact that they're
Thieves.
actually
Play
like holding A
real
site now, so
information
maybe
and
A
just
Heaven's a
play
little bit
around,
weaker.
you know, some kills
And
from
they
their
can
team
like
straight
force
up.
through Heaven.
Or maybe the answer is just pick up the
Olivia
pace.
QT, thank you so
5
much
of
with
them ready
the
to go
prime.
outside
Thank you
A
with the
this round.
4 months.
That's
Thank you,
certainly the
Dylan.
one-size-fits-all solution. The problem is, with the breach positioning over here in the corner, if it's a ramps dive, that stun
What we
is
got?
brutal, and Verno is going to eat them up.
Oh, on
Which way did they
defense.
go?
I think they're going
100
Heaven, but it
Thieves.
kind of looks like they wanted to
Start
sight
the
it.
round slow. Pull back star in main. Now a pop. Heading into the site, but the stun, the missiles, and the hits already countered out. Players are arriving for MIBR. The re-hit coming in, but Verno is in a position to flood. Osboss is here, and Artson on the site, not able to find any value. But the supportive players for MIBR
Big Joe.
on the scene of the crime and ready
Nicely
to
done.
find their mark in this round. Into a 2-on-3. The site secured, the plant coming down.
How did Sander get that spike? There was
Did
an
he
up
mean
holding
to,
it, but Osboss fell off the angle for just a moment.
They mean to
Now
wall
with
off
the knives
spawn.
popped, Osboss works Heaven on his own as Cortesia moves slowly on the flank.
Nice from EU. Shuts down Osboss, and only one man left. A 1v3 for Cortesia. First player in Heaven.
With this
Cortesia
comp, how
knows
should
he was
attack
here a little
ideally be
earlier
played?
in the
So the
round.
problem, you have a giant weakness on your comp, so
Not a lot of
you kind of
time
have
to
to do what
work
they're
with
doing
EU.
and put like all
Well timed on
your
the swing.
thought process into
100
like
Thieves in it for another
creating
round.
pressure here. Even then, it's probably
Okay,
going to
so
get
5-player
re-cleared.
exec was
It's
the
just not a
solution
good.
there.
It's just not a good comp and attack.
100 Thieves
It's the issue.
do have the breach ult if they want
The
to
thing
keep
is,
that
they're doing
going
pretty
into the
good
next
on
round. The
attack.
ult cycles wouldn't
It's more their
be so
defense
bad
that let
for
them down. They couldn't
Teo coming in the round after
lose
this
that
too.
many rounds.
Baiting out ult, Verno's ult in that round is going to be meaningful for them. And I'm looking at the minimap right now. 100 Thieves are just getting ready for another A-Slam. If they want to mix it up, maybe this is the time they go for that Heaven control and slow down the round in the aftermath.
This time rotates are a lot farther away for MIBR.
Yeah, well, it's also MIBR on a light buy. Only one rifle. Just guessed wrong on the stack, but comes 100 Thieves to Heaven and down.
Yeah,
goes
another round.
Verno.
So it's the same exec with the stage hold to block off fence.
And again, if 100 Thieves can get in positions like this, the round should become very, very simple. As long as, you know, Cortez isn't
I mean, yeah, I
backside
agree with you,
getting 3K.
Bacon, but
This
Here
time
we
it's
are.
not. So good news for 100 Thieves.
MIBR's a real option to retake from a position like this would be to have some kind of flank pressure coming in, or someone just going absolutely beast mode. Going out from screens into elbow. Good news for 100 Thieves is they also, on the anti-eco, didn't have to use the Rolling Thunder. And if you're looking at
yeah, only
the
really
actual amount of rounds you have
Aspas
left,
who
okay, you
wants
need
to
win
save
3
the
more
gun.
rounds after this.
Everyone else
Well,
can
no,
go
it's
for
gonna
this.
be a
Artisan
You're
can
gonna have
buy
the tail ult for the
him
next one.
op.
Maybe we get Raze
So-
Astra online for the last. Start to believe a little bit more than you did a few
Artisan's
minutes
for
ago.
sure hoping that Aspas doesn't commit to this and lose his gun.
MIBR players to run towards the spike and
Yeah,
meet their inevitable fate. Maybe only Aspas to hold on to his rifle.
The Hungry Hammer, thank you so
Artisan
much, bro. I
did
appreciate
save
the
up
prime.
to get Aspas
Thank you
off.
for the support, mate.
Wonder if that's going to be the call. And it looks like
When
it is.
does MIBR time out?
100 Thieves have
Because
done a
there's
great
been a
job thus
lot
far
of this.
pushing Aspas off these
Been
early
a
lines.
lot of A
Combination
pressure at the beginning.
Pullback smoke, using their refreshable utility and having Asuna dive
I mean,
in
this is
means
good. This is like
Aspas
what they
hasn't
called.
really
This
done many
is what they called
impactful
after the
first kills
timeout,
with
right?
the
Or
AWP.
at least after the
It's
100
clear
Thieves
the prep
timeout
coming
to
into this
go
series for 100
get the
Thieves
op.
has been
Try
denying
set it
those
up with the
early
early
lines to
drone.
Aspas. But it's that later phase, that mid-game, where 100 Thieves are getting muddied up.
100 Thieves, they conditioned the stun into B-main quite a few rounds earlier in this half. But this time they're ready to actually pop off of taking the space.
Yeah, you
Everyone
use
here,
ult, boost yours
Lucio into
ult.
Rolling Thunder.
Xander is still
Straight
slow
up
playing
sight hit.
A-side for a late lurk.
Cortez on the site. Artin up in heaven as well. The Rolling Thunder is in.
Oh my
MIBR
god.
can't dodge
Damn,
it.
he did. He
Walked
went
out of-
so high that he couldn't get over towards spawn. Dude, big ult. What the hell just happened to the
And
sound?
it's back to a
my goodness, we're
4-on-4.
back.
Spike planted.
100 Thieves in great positions too, with players flooding out from CT. So MIBR are going to focus on reclaiming heaven. If Cryo falls, this hold from 100 Thieves could be rough.
EU has the Teo ult. Maybe to fight back into heaven. No, spawn the choice. And Verno's down, so it comes down.
Yeah,
to
MIBR
just
gotta
the
save
players
this.
Fighting
Wait,
from
what they doing?
heaven, and 100 Thieves
You guys doing?
proactive on this site, holding forward angles, push MIBR back to another save.
Look, if 100 Thieves are planting the spike, their post plant is gnarly.
Oh, dude, they got a nice post bomb
With
for
100
sure,
Thieves
but
able to control the
it's
rounds.
just getting into the
and get
sights
those
here.
positions that they've worked on.
This should
becomes pretty
be
challenging.
well.
And I'm
100
looking
Thieves
at
have done
things.
pretty good
MIBR
because they
is
still
not
got
getting
3
any
people
easier.
that can't buy now.
Gonna have a couple of rifles.
So they have
The
a
op
good
going
chance to
into
get
the
to
next round,
11. They
but
still got to
very
deal with
likely
like
being
a
decided on the last
couple
round
of
regulation.
stingers,
Oh,
maybe a
the
judge,
shot.
Yeah, that was nice from Cryo.
and then maybe they get another ult for that, like Raze ult maybe.
Pick them up. Yoink.
Timeout called for MIBR now.
That is their first of the game, for the record.
Yes, they were in control for basically all of the first half. Won the pistol in the second. It's impressive. 100 Thieves is even stealing this game, getting double pistol, losing the bonus in the first
Yeah.
half, and how it was looking for quite a while there.
And good news for MIBR. Even if they lose this round, they could call a timeout next round too.
Wow.
And the Navi
You know,
can't
really
get
good.
So
double on
team
Haven.
one more.
I mean, they got double
Or
pistol.
the famous
They
back-to-back.
snowballed a little bit on attack. They had a good defense
It's been a
though.
while since we've seen
They had
that
some
one.
cool stuff.
I mean, right now, the money, I know we can't see it right
some
now,
nice
but
setups.
MIBR are in a weird position because they
Like, it looked horrible to
technically
play
have
against
enough
on
to
attack,
buy
like
if they
against
go
them on
for a
defense.
Judge or maybe
Squelchy,
a
thank you so much for the
Guardian on
prime.
a
Appreciate
couple
the
of
5
players.
months. Thank you for that, dude.
But if they do that and it falls apart, obviously next round rough. But if they don't, they have to make sure their operator
Aspas always
survives into the
saving.
next round,
Mate,
'cause
he's
they
on.
wouldn't have enough to buy that, I don't
Mate,
think.
Aspas is always saving because he's on defense and they're hitting the other site. What do you want it? You want him to go for a what was this? 2v4? You want him to go for a 2v4 when he has an op and they got no money?
This is
Yeah, he's got to
technology.
save. Not his fault.
100 Thieves has been going for a lot of these pops where they're putting
Hachi
all
with the
of their
prime. Thank
util
you,
on
thank you.
stunning
Appreciate
and
the 2
missile on the
months.
side anchors.
Yeah.
There might be a gap for a judge close into a smoke.
I like that MIBR are dividing up the judges too. You've got
Law
one
did
in
it.
Omen
Yeah,
over
but
towards B, the
they
other
also
is
lost
playing
every
close
game.
A on
It's
the
not a good
breach.
example.
Both circuit court, so to speak.
Exactly. And you got the teammates do a bit of baiting. Aspas has that off, but misses the shot.
Oh, it's unlike him. And now he's running all the way back as Asuna happily takes space on ramp.
Okay, they insert one over towards heaven. In reaction, they take over towards B. Dude,
Cortez
double
has a judge, and the
judge.
rest of 100 Thieves
Double
need to get
judge is
through
a
him.
nightmare to play
And they're
against.
heading right
You
into
don't
it.
have the drone anymore.
The smoke
They
fading.
should know there's a judge
Cortez,
here.
Judge in the corner. One swings in. A second.
Oh god, the judge, dude. MIBR are the best judge abusers at the moment. Oxen is such a judge fan. It's so strong, especially when they're using the drone to set up the op over towards A, or at least create pressure over towards A. The judge just becomes incredible. You don't have much to like safe clear it.
Perfect info.
Another missed shot from Aspas.
Not been his day so far. For MIBR as a team, it certainly has.
Stuns miss.
Did
Vernos
the double
as
stun?
well, so Asuna
Asun's
kicks
gonna
out
have to
into
do a
smoke, and
madness.
that's a
Okay.
free kill on
They
Tortzen.
had no idea he
Still a
was out
chance
here.
in this yet, 'cause Aspas is low, but he doesn't miss this time. Xander, 1 versus 3. Aspas not
Dude, okay,
finding
I mean,
that shot,
100
but
Thieves
his
are pretty
team
good
has
on
got his
attack,
back.
really,
And
considering they just lost
MIBR,
way too many
13 to
rounds
10,
in defense.
Take their opponent's map pick and start this series with a win.
Yeah, give him a pistol here. And this would probably have been an overtime or something.
I mean, whether it was the near 1v5